Hey, Keith McCrone here from the Ultimate Track Day Experience. I was just kind of going through a driver audit, if you will, and during this driver's audit, I think we kind of came up with something that was really cool, which prompted me to go ahead and record this video because I wanted to kind of share that with everybody. But oftentimes, us as drivers, when we put a car on the track, and maybe we're not happy with the lap time that we're getting, it falls into three categories. It falls into the car itself is maybe not capable of turning the lap time that we want. It could be something where our fitness is standing in the way for us to be able to get the lap time that we want. Maybe we've been on the track for a little while and fatigue is setting in, or we are something where there's a track day and we're getting into the third or fourth session that day and our body's kind of giving it up. And then the third one is the mind, right? So if you think about it, the mind is there to protect us, and I'm going to talk about that as we go along, because that's the big part of this video I want to talk about. But let's just say we could check off the car. We could say the car, somebody else was in the car and they ran a really good lap, and now we got in the car and we got to duplicate it, right? So we could check off the car itself we know is okay, and let's just say that we are, let's say, paying attention to our fitness. So maybe we're not giving up, we're not fatigued, we're not tired, and we physically are ready to go quick in the car, turn a good lap. But the one that's standing in the way is the mind, right? So our mind is standing in the way from us turning a lap that we know is capable. And when I think of the mind itself standing in the way, I think the mind is actually there to protect us, right? It's been that way forever. And I think that what we see, hear, or read is what kind of comes into our mind that determines whether we're going to be able to accomplish something. So let's just say if we were looking at content or reading content that maybe this content was telling us that there's no way you can do something, your mind now is going to tell you it's impossible for you to do it. But if you were looking at content and reading something where it was giving you the skills to be able to overcome the mindset, well, then you're going to probably go ahead and say to yourself, it is accomplishable, and I know I can do it. It's just a matter of doing it now. So what we see out of our eyes, though, when we're actually driving the car, is what is creating our thoughts in our head, and then is determining whether we are physically going to be able to do it in the car or not. So if you're in a situation where you're maybe on a track and maybe you're somebody that is a little bit having difficulties in high speed corner entry, and it could be maybe flat out and we're pulling our foot out of the throttle. Well, that's happening because what our eyes are seeing on the track is telling our brain we need to pull our foot out of it, and then you pull your foot out of it, right? So it's a mindset thing. So you have to be able to overcome these things mentally to be able to put the lap time that you have out there. And I think at the end of the day, that's the fun, and that's why we do what we do, right? And how do you overcome that? Well, there's no question, seat time. It's important that you're in the car a lot, because we have to program our brains by what we're seeing. I remember back in the day when I was running in the Pro Series, it was almost like when I got out there, it seemed like we were going really fast, but the longer I was in the car, that started slowing down, and it didn't look to be as fast to me anymore. And you want to kind of get to that point. At the same time, there's other techniques that we teach to be able to overcome some of these challenges when it comes to mindset, so that you can put the faster lap out on the track. If it's something that you want to learn about some of these things and overcome some of these challenges when it comes to the mindset of these things, get a hold of me at info@utde.racing. You kind of know our schedule. The best thing to do is go ahead and set up time in the car, and we can go ahead and analyze you and kind of walk you through the steps that's necessary to overcome some of these mindset challenges. But at the end of the day, don't get frustrated, because that's obviously the fun part, is being able to work yourself through some of these mindset challenges. Hope you found that this video was helpful, and thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you need anything, get a hold of me at info@utde.racing. Thank you, and be safe.